Good evening. I'm here with Next Level Career Consulting. Today we'll be doing a presentation in career development. We are here for you to give young adults the opportunity to excel and prosper in the field of their choosing. Now, before we get started, let me introduce the team. My name is Jalen McCallum. Next Level Career Consulting, all of us go to University of West Georgia. My major is Management Information Systems, and I'm here in charge of the introductions. Here we have JC Dunbar. Her major is Mass Communications with a focus of Public Relations and a minor of Marketing. And here her job role is memorable conclusions, takeaway items, and the questions. Here we have Joshua Bryan. His major is Management Information Systems, and here he is in charge of the recommendations. Here we have Blake Collin. His major is Business Marketing and Finance. Here he is in charge of internal and external communications. And last we have Leighton Drake. His major is Management Information Systems, and he is here in charge of company background and statement of need. And here to start things off, Leighton Drake.
Next Level Career Consulting was founded in 1990 by Steve Roberts. Our company's at Next Level Career Consulting, it is our mission to be a place or person you can go. We provide 24/7 around-the-clock support where anyone can get in contact with a well-trained. Next, I'll be talking about the needs for career services at West Georgia. We have had many opportunities to work with organizations to improve their communication. The internal audience is other departments at the University of West Georgia. Career services helps students by giving them the opportunity to find future jobs. There are a few areas where career services can improve. First, being next, we will be transitioning over to Blake to talk about some internal communication.
When you first think of internal communications, what comes to mind? For most people, it's just how people talk inside the department, but it goes much deeper than that. I'm Blake Collin, and here at Next Level Career Consulting, we strive to make sure you and your company come first. We have been helping companies every day since 1990 and have an extremely good track record and very good recommendations. In research into your department, we have found the three main uses of communication in an average normal day at your department. First, we'll start off with phone calls, which are the least of the three percentages. They're a quick way to reach a coworker. However, there are more professional ways like email or face-to-face that's more suitable for the workplace. Second is email. Email is very professional and it's very helpful because you can look back on an email and see, oh wait, what did I send? Whereas with a phone call, or then, which what I'll get to next is face to face, with either of those you can't do that. So that's a benefit of the email. And it's a great way to set up company calendars for that exact reason. And lastly, face to face, which takes up a majority of the percentage. This is the most personal way because it gives you access to some people's nonverbal cues, which include body language, the tone of their voice, where they're looking, all that stuff. And with the exception of emailing, this is the fastest way to get a question answered or to set up a meeting. So after doing some comparative analysis between your career services department and career services departments of other schools, we've found some similarities and some differences, both of which we'd like to address, the positives and the negatives. So first, we looked at the University of Illinois. Some similarities between your website and their website are it's easy to access the event calendars. They're both right there on the front page. Easy to spot, easy to see when the dates are. Another similarity is most of their communication is through phone, email, and face-to-face, the same three that we just listed for you. A difference that we found that is very important, their homepage tabs up at the top are more specific into what students go to the website seeking. And what I mean by that is students don't go to the website like they're trying to go for specific terms, like, for example, majors or seeking jobs or help with resumes. Those are their top tabs. Whereas on your website, you have to click something first, like student resources, and then under that, then there's those things that students like to see. I just think it'd be very helpful for you to maybe adjust those tabs how you would like. My suggestion would be to do it very similar to how they do it, but that's up to you. And then UGA was the other school that we compared you with, and some similarities. The homepage tabs. Now they're similar right now, but like I just said, I prefer, or my recommendation is that you guys should change your tabs more similarly to University of Illinois. So that shouldn't be a similarity anymore. And then another similarity is that both your career services departments have presence on Twitter. So that's good, and that can help spread the word. One difference that I found was that UGA works through Handshake, which is a website that is used to connect students from the university to employers. And I think this would be very helpful. It's kind of like a LinkedIn, except it's specifically students, and you can filter it out so that it is through a certain university. That way, employers that have a preference of university or whatnot, they can see what university you're coming through. And I also did some other research that more D1 schools also use Handshake as well, like Georgia Tech, Auburn, Alabama, big schools like that. And I think this will greatly benefit UWG. After reviewing some of your external communication methods, we've determined the three main ones, which are social media, email, and face-to-face. Of course, social media, which I'll touch on first, has other more specific outlets like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. But for right now, I'll just speak on social media as a whole. And to get started, this is a great way to reach out to the youth of this generation because they're always online doing something. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook seem to be the biggest of the three. So another little thing for Facebook is that the students' parents are more so on Facebook than the students are, but students tend to listen to their parents more so than, let's say, a counselor or career service employee. So putting something out there on Facebook for the parents to see could really help that message get through to the student better. Just a thought. And then email, which is a common theme here. Some things seem to never change. Email is always kind of going to be that main communicator. And using the University of West Georgia's student email, that's a great way to communicate because it ensures that it's going to be received by the student. It's going to be in their inbox. Now, whether they check it or not, that's another thing. But at least you know that the message is there for them to see if they want to. And these are better than phone calls, which are not on this list for a good reason. But they're better than phone calls because people don't have to wait on the phone if they have questions, like wait on hold for a couple hours. They can just email you, then when you have time, email them back, and vice versa. Lastly, face-to-face communication. This is the most personal way to communicate, like I touched on earlier. You can read their body language and their nonverbal cues. And this is being face-to-face, the easiest way to persuade someone to maybe join a club or that they should start doing this, looking for jobs, etc. It's the most personal way. However, it is the hardest way to reach mass audiences. So other outlets like email and social media, those are easier to reach bigger masses with, but face-to-face is best with small groups and can help persuade people more easily because you're right there talking to them. So to touch on the external communications a little bit more, we've conducted a SWOT analysis of your department. Basically, we're going to hit on the strengths, weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats for your department. So some strengths that we saw were that you're quick to respond, you help with resumes and with job searches, so that includes internships and cover letters, any other stuff that would be involved in job search. You reach out to failing students, which I thought is very important because that's a very good way to kind of pull them in to maybe taking a bigger look at career services after you reach out to them. Your weaknesses, you need more student participation, and I know that's hard, and that's kind of the premise of most of this, but still got to put it there. That is a weakness. Failure to correctly portray the importance of using career services. So I think that's a key note that may need to be touched on just internally, is that you need to kind of put out there how important it is that students actually use your resources to get their name out there, get in touch with employers, because there are many studies out there that show that using career services can help your job employment percentage out of college skyrocket. And then lastly, another weakness is having a small budget and few social media followers. So while you do have the presence online, the social media followers aren't there too much. So you're only reaching a few people, which I have a recommendation for. You take the main social media account for West Georgia and you just retweet the Career Services Department's posts or repost them and tag the Career Services Department, their account. That way, because there are more people following the main West Georgia account than the Career Services Department account. So it'll get in contact with more people, as well as with them tagging you. It could lead to you gaining more followers and getting wider spread base. And then the opportunity, you can grow your social media presence in ways like I just mentioned. Have more events on campus. Specifically, have some major specific events such as marketing, finance, biology, pre-med, stuff like that are specific to a certain major. And then help students with cost management before they graduate. I've heard that from a couple of students that they would really like that. And then threats. Students' lack of interest, students not understanding the importance of career services, and then students not being aware of the department or its benefits. So all three of these kind of go back to that point about correctly portraying the importance of using career services. So I hope this helped. And next up, we have Joshua Bryan, who will be taking you through the recommendations. Thank you.
Hello. The recommendation portion of this proposal will focus on department image, increasing external communication, as well as increasing overall involvement. These topics are important due to the overall importance that career services has on one's overall college success. Overall, the department image could be improved by improving the tone it uses for external communication be increased in a few ways. One way would be to hand out flyers. Increasing overall involvement can be accomplished in a few ways by promoting your services more. Overall, I hope and know these recommendations will help you. Now we will.
Thank you all so much for listening to our recommendations on how we can help the communications at the Career Services Department at the University of West Georgia. Us here at Next Level Career Consulting Company Would like to show you our gratitude by sending you home with a layered Oreo treat. That way, the next time you eat it and you think of the layers, you think of how we can help you level up or take you to the next level. So thank you again so much for listening, and I would like to open up the floor for any questions. The first question is, what do you believe our long-term potential is compared to other departments or organizations that you've looked at? So throughout our company's history and with our research on comparing other career services at other universities, we believe that the University of West Georgia Career Services has a great chance of having a strong future with their students, helping them in whatever they need.
You may ask yourself, why would working with your company be a smart choice or investment?
As I said in the beginning, we are here to give young adults, really anybody, the opportunity to excel and prosper in the field of their choosing, to allow them to go above and beyond. We are just here to just help out overall.
There is no risk using our recommendations. Every recommendation is unbiased.
I think that reaching out to at-risk students will help your image because doing kind things to people always comes back and pays you back. So that'll definitely help you out there. And then in increasing your relationship with other students, people take notice when you do nice things for people. And so that word will spread. People will be like, hey, what's this career services department? What do they do? And then they read more into you. They're like, hey, I might need help here. So thank you all for welcoming our presentation with open arms, and let us know if you have any more questions. Thank you.